Hello, welcome back to some more bridge. Playing the free day-long tournament for today, which is a match point event for April 22nd. But before we get started, I wanted to look back at yesterday's event, where in the end we did quite well. But there was one board that had me puzzled at the time. Um, I played three spades doubled down one, and since it's just a Claire, of course everyone played three spades doubled. And I said, there's just no way this is below average. It should be very close to average. Maybe a few people find a way to go down more than they should. But then actually, okay, that did happen. But more often, some people actually made the contract. And looking at what happened at my table, I just couldn't imagine how you could convince the defenders to get this wrong. Right, it's a diamond to the ace, East cashes a spade, shifts to a club. And now you very clearly have a spade you have to lose, a heart you have to lose, and a club you have to lose. That's three tricks, you're going down. And like, how could West even make a mistake? It doesn't look possible. So my only explanation was, well, maybe if on trick two you play the five of diamonds instead of the four, which obviously makes no significant difference, but that might be enough to affect East's, like the seed for East's random hand simulation process and cause him not to play the same or something. But it turns out that's not what happened. Um, I looked at the results for one of the hands, one of the tables that made it, and it started out the same. South actually did play the five, and I thought, aha, that must be what it was. But then no, East still plays a spade and a club, so it really didn't make any difference what South played. And South roughs a diamond, which, sure, doesn't seem urgent, but you might as well, I suppose, if you want. And they did that hoping to finesse East in spades, maybe, even though that's never going to work. There's no harm in roughing and leading a spade from dummy if you want, I guess. East pitches and South ducks. West wins and draws the last trump, so we can't rough any more diamonds in dummy. We don't have any more diamonds, but West doesn't know that, so he draws the last trump. Sure, not a problem. And now we still have a heart loser and a club loser, but we can only afford to lose one trick. How do we get away with this? We lead the queen of hearts, ducked, and the ten of hearts, ducked. So this is not like guaranteed to be a bad play from West, right? West doesn't know the situation in the minors. He does know this is South's last heart. But his thinking is, I suppose, if he goes up with this ace of hearts, he's going to have to eventually let us into dummy with the queen of clubs or another heart. And we'll therefore get to win two heart tricks. So let's say that I had a couple diamond losers and my clubs were actually bad. Like maybe I had these last two clubs were two small diamonds. Then I would really welcome West winning the ace and playing king and a club. Because then I would get to dummy with the queen of clubs and pitch both of my diamonds on the queen of clubs and the jack of hearts. And so against that distribution, maybe it makes sense for West to duck, but like if I have that, aren't you just dead anyway? Like you duck this, okay, great. But now I play a club up to the queen, and you kind of have to play the king, and you still have to let me in dummy. So I'm not sure in what universe you can ever game there. Well, no, because yes, right. Anyway, so I don't know, just a surprising outcome where like there actually is a position where it doesn't seem completely insane for West to duck the ace of hearts twice. To me, it doesn't seem to check out as like what layout is there where ducking actually helps. But there are certainly some where ducking doesn't hurt. And, you know, You know, well done for getting the robots into a position where they found a way to make a mistake, I guess. Anyway, so this is 8 boards of match points. I think we just pass here. I don't think it would be crazy to bid a heart, though. Yeah, maybe you do bid a heart. It preempts the diamonds, which is nice. And the lead direct is likely to be valuable. And my heart suit, I mean, obviously, like, you only want to make 4-card overcalls when you have a really good suit, but this is a really good suit. I'd rather have the minors switched, but of course, if they were switched, I would just double. So I don't know. I'll bid a heart. Fine. Huh. I feel like bidding a heart or a spade is more normal here. It only shows 4. I think. I mean, that's a standard expert treatment. I don't know if that's what Gib plays. So dummy has 8. I have 15. That's 23. There are 17 for the opponents to have. I would guess East does not have the ace and king and queen of clubs, because if so, he would have led that suit probably. Probably does have the king of diamonds. No. Okay, well. Really happy West played it, because otherwise I'm only getting 2 diamond tricks. Now I get 4. Although I have to decide what to pitch. A heart is easy to get rid of. And after that, I think I can afford 2 clubs. Because Dummy's Jack 4th is going to be a stopper against... It doesn't need... If I pitched down to a singleton club, I might be causing myself some issues. But pitching down to 2 should be fine. And I'm not worried that this sets up a diamond for them. Like, the suit probably is 5-3. West has 5. But I don't really care. West's not getting in, and even if he does, who cares if he cashes a diamond? Okay, so now I could cash 3 tricks. Or I could exit a spade to set up a spade trick. If I exit a spade, I'm losing potentially 4 tricks. I don't think I can possibly lose 5. No. And I will possibly lose fewer than that if the opponents don't cash out. Whereas if I cash out hearts, I'm definitely losing the 4 tricks at the end. So yeah, let's carry on with spades. Oh my god, they're playing a heart. It should be illegal to defend this badly. I mean, I don't know what they think about the hand, obviously, but the defense was very friendly, given the actual layout. East did have ace king queen of clubs. I guess when West turned up the king of diamonds, I probably should have figured that. I don't know. East could have had the last 2 jacks instead of the queen of clubs. I'm not sure how good this result is, because we did make a game without bidding it, but turns out it's just fine to take a million tricks even if you don't bid them, because, like, you really shouldn't be bidding a game here. And if you do, you shouldn't make it either. So taking 10 tricks looks pretty cool. This is a powerful hand, 22 points, balanced, easy 2 clubs. And then just a quiet 3-0, right? Partner's 2-0 is exciting. Shows at least 8 points. Ups in my 22. Isn't that amazing? Shouldn't we bid more? No. It is amazing, but I should just bid 3-0. That conveys my hand perfectly and leaves partner very much in charge. All of my bids here would be natural, right? Yeah, okay. And if partner just has a balanced 8 with nothing much to do, he can pass, as he now has done. And if he had extras, enough that my 22 would be a good slam, partner would bid on. It's not my job. If I play the 10 here, we can guarantee 4 heart tricks. It's nice. It's good news they haven't led a club. That would have been annoying. So 4 hearts. The club is 5. 3 diamonds is 8. 2 spades is at least 10 tricks I can take here. Perhaps more if I can produce extra tricks in spades or diamonds. Conceivably, if I had an entry problem, I might consider playing the King of Hearts here to preserve Dummy's Ace as a late entry, but A, I don't have a huge entry problem, and B, I think it's quite possible that East has Jack fourth, in which case I need to take the finesse now. All right. No problem. So let's cash the hearts and see what happens. Okay, they're 3-3. And then play on spades. Unfortunate. Now we have club diamond squeeze that is just a slight extra chance on top of diamonds being 3-3, basically. So you have to win this in hand so that you can cash the ace of clubs before crossing over to dummy to cash the heart. Interesting. Now, on the third spade, a diamond was discarded, wasn't it? So the opponents only have 2 diamonds remaining, not 3. I think that's true. Doesn't really matter, though. As part of the squeeze, all I really have to do is count clubs. I've seen the ace and the jack, but not the king or the queen, so the 9 is a loser. So trying to cash it would be no good. So I should just cash the queen of diamonds and hope the 9 is a winner, but it's not. Yeah, I mean, I don't think you could really do much better there. Maybe if you played hearts, there could be some useful rough. No. What if we hadn't cashed the ace king of spades, but had led low to the jack first? Then I'd still have a spade threat, but I'd have one additional loser, so it wouldn't really help. I don't... There's no 2 loser squeezes that I can see. And you can't get down to 1 loser for the 1 loser squeeze. Well, could you? Well, let's see. I mean, they both have a club guard. The spade and diamond guards are both divided and are both above the spade and diamond threats, respectively. Yeah, so there's no shot of a triple squeeze. Or double squeeze, I should say. Okay. Anyway, I think the way I played it was fine. I was just trying to review whether there's something else that would have worked. This is 20 points, balanced. So we will bid 2 no trump. And get to play 3. 4 spades and a heart is 5. Club is 6. 2 diamonds is 8. I'd like West to keep winning tricks if possible. I'm afraid of a club switch, but only if it's East who does it. So if East plays low on this, I should duck. If East plays an honor, I should probably just cry. I don't know. Since we're playing against robots, I don't have to control my tempo very carefully. I don't have to have a plan based on what he does here. So let's play low. Okay, good. A duck. I'm happy to duck this. So the 10 of hearts really ought to mean East has the king and queen and jack. Or, I mean, no. That's not. West could have, like, queen 10, 9, X or something, right? But then that would mean his partner had king jack, which is impossible because he didn't play either of them and he only has two. Right? Yeah, there's just, I mean, obviously the robots don't always adhere to standard opening leads, but I think generally they try to. And there's just no actual holdings West could have that include the king or queen or jack. Except, I guess, like king 10 9, a 3-card suit, or queen 10 9. Those are possible. So the question is, did West lead the 10 from 10 9 doubleton or 10 singleton? Or is it a 3-card suit? I don't know. Because if it's a 3-card suit, it would be nice to just lose a heart and set up a heart trick, right? But if West has 2, then losing a heart would do me no good and also let East on lead, which I don't want to allow. I think there's kind of a restricted choice argument that West should be unlikely to have 10x, because apparently West has something like 10x in spades. And if he had 10x in both suits, he had a free choice of which one to lead, so either one, I don't know. I'm never very good at explaining restricted choice. But the point is, if a defender has a choice, if there's one of two kind of equivalent things a defender could do, and no particular reason for them to choose one over the other. No, I'm not explaining it well. So the canonical example is, suppose you have a 9-card suit between the two hands, and you are missing queen jack XX. You play the king, and it goes small, small, queen. Should you next finesse against the jack, treating hoping the player who played the queen has a singleton? Or should you play the ace, hoping the player who had the queen was dealt queen jack doubleton? And it sort of seems like it should be about a 50-50 split, right? Either the jack is in their hands or their partner's hand. It's pretty much, what edge do you have? But it's actually much better to take the finesse. 3-2 favorite. I think it's 3-2. I'm not good at odds. I don't know what 3-2 means. It's the idea is, suppose that you don't even pay attention to whether they played the queen. Okay, if they had the queen or jack singleton, they had to play that card. They had no choice. If they had the queen and jack doubleton, they could have played either one. And so only about half the time that they were dealt honor doubleton would you see the particular honor that you saw. So anyway, I don't know. There's a similar restricted choice thing applies sometimes to other defensive choices they could make. Like here, if I believe that this 10 shows 10 doubleton, and then I have to decide, well, what should I do about hearts? Does he have 10 doubleton there as well? A second kind of equivalent holding he could have led from? Or is it the case that the two suits are different in his hand? Does he have not 10 doubleton of hearts, and therefore like king 10-9? And that's an argument. Restricted choice there again would say, assume he doesn't have two things that are basically the same. So that's an argument to say maybe hearts are 3-3 after all. It's not the only thing that you should think about on this hand, though, because, like, I don't think you have to decide, right? Can't you just, like, play queen of spades, 10 of diamonds, losing to West? Like, he still has to play something. I'm going to play the 9 so that the 8 is an entry to dummy. I have lots of entries to hand and not so many to dummy. Okay, West continues passive defense. I'm refreshing. I'm leaving the table. So that was a sloppy play. I really should play the ace here. Well, but no, I can't. I want to lead from dummy the 7 of diamonds, finessing east for the jack. But then I also want to have a re-entry to dummy in spades, and I just can't have both of those things. I don't think I actually... do I really risk finessing again in diamonds? If it goes wrong, I'll be very embarrassed. It'll be a disaster. I think it would be better to just play from the top, even though restricted choice, I believe, tells me that it should apply here, right? Even though I only have 7. East is more likely to have the card than West is. It would just be so expensive to be... I mean, it doesn't even help. I can't... If the finesse works, what am I supposed to do? I can't get back to dummy. Yeah, there's no reason to do that. All right. So I'm going to just suck a heart, I guess. So how many losers do I have? A club and a heart. If hearts come in, I might not have a loser there. If diamonds come in, I might be able to pitch a loser. So I could be in a situation where I have only one loser and lots of threats for a squeeze. But I could also have 2 losers. In which case I would prefer to lose a trick now, I think. Preferably in clubs. Because then I'd have a red suit squeeze against East without having to risk the actual finesse. But if the hearts are coming in, then I have a minor suit squeeze against East. And West did actually have 10 doubleton of spades. I think hearts are 3-3. Wrong. No. Correct? Correct. Okay. Now we can play the club diamond squeeze. Not that it's super likely to work. But, I mean, diamonds might have been 3-3 all along, in which case it doesn't have to work. Yeah, so that worked. Diamonds were 3-3 and hearts were 3-3. Tough to go wrong on this hand, as it turns out. Well, you could go wrong by attacking clubs, I guess. You could also probably go wrong by winning at trick 1, making it too easy for the opponents to switch to clubs from the east hand. Yeah, okay. Apparently you can go wrong. Wow, 2 spades, partner says. Kind of interested in finding a slam. I guess it's like pretty optimistic. Yeah, I'll just bid 4 spades. Partner might have been. Partner was under a little pressure to bid. We shouldn't assume he has the moon and the stars over there. What do people say? That's like there's some phrase for like having absolutely everything. The sun and the moon. I think it's the sun and the moon. I'm pretty sure the king of spades is offside, given how many honors West's already turned up with. Cool. Obviously, it was unlikely to fall singleton, but even less likely to be in West's hand, I think. Because their defense kind of suggests West has the ace, king, queen here. Otherwise, why would you play the queen? Like, low and then queen means East doesn't have the ace. Queen means West isn't worried that the queen might lose, even though he has the ace, so he must have the king as well. And so West just like can't have the king of spades. So you play the ace, and it probably doesn't drop, and you lose a spade. But as it turns out, it does drop. And it's kind of playing the ace is your only chance to avoid losing a spade, given the inferences about diamonds. Oh man, and if you actually try the spade finesse, you get absolutely roasted for it, right? You win with the ace, take the finesse, East wins the king and gives his partner a heart rough, and you go down. So the finesse would cost you 2 tricks. I mean, ugh. You could pass this hand. I don't know how I feel about that. It's 12 points. Obviously, like, usually that's good enough to open, but partner's a passed hand. We're unfavorable. My spades are terrible. My shape is terrible. My spots are okay. Aces and kings are generally better than, queens and jacks. Obviously, an ace is better than a queen, right? But, like, the typical 4-3-2-1 count overvalues queens and jacks and undervalues aces and kings, so in some sense, this is a better than the average 12. But unfavorable. Like, if this hand passed out, I would be pretty happy, I think. Yeah, there's something I've actually never really done. Let me go look up bridge K and R hand. So I've never actually used the Kaplan-Rubens hand evaluation system. But it's some Kaplan and Rubens, both well-known theorists of bridge history. I don't know if Rubens still around. Kaplan died 20, 30 years ago or something. So, okay, you can't see because I have it cropped, but up at the top it says K&R hand evaluator. Actually, let me take this away for a minute so I can see both, so I can still see the hand. I'm just curious what K&R thinks this hand is worth. Because I think it's below average for a 12 count, even though the aces and kings are prime. And K&R just has like a million rules for like, okay, here's a bunch of exceptions to how all this stuff works. I don't know the details to K&R, so I like literally can't calculate it myself. But I wonder what this would say about the hand. 12.2. And I guess 12 minus must mean a bad 12. So, like, they think this is an okay opening. I think is what this means. I don't really know. I'm going to try passing it and see how it goes. Okay. I mean, it's sort of our hand, so this probably scores badly. I don't know. Maybe we might go down in 2, no? It seems, well, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8%. Yeah, okay. I mean, yeah. It's a little unfortunate that, like, West only has 8 points and partner has 10. One of partner's points had been given to West. You know, I mean, and also the suits split pretty well for us. Yeah, if we didn't have the Queen of Diamonds, we'd be in bad shape in 1-0, I think. They could get 6 tricks in the major suits and the Ace of Diamonds. On the actual layout, suppose they lead hearts. We get 4 diamonds, a heart, a spade, and a club. That's 7. Finesse would be 8. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, that didn't work out, but it's an interesting experiment. This is 15 balanced. So we have 2 only spade stoppers. Means you don't have time to set up diamonds before opponents run their spades. Now, it's possible that the spades are 4-4, in which case you still have enough time. They get 2 spades and 2 diamonds, but you get your diamonds going. Then you also get 2 spades and 2 diamonds. 3 hearts and 2 clubs, that would be 9 tricks. But suppose that spades are 5-3. Then they'll get 3 spades to go with their 2 diamonds, and you'll go down. So you could try attacking clubs instead, but then if the finesse doesn't work, you're kind of out of luck, right? You'll have set up a second club trick for sure. Third club trick, sorry. To go with your 5 tricks in the majors. That would be 8, but it wouldn't be 9. And then they could definitely cash out to beat you, and you wouldn't really have any squeeze chances. So, what's more likely? That you can find a queen, or that spades are 4-4? I'm not very good at suit break percentages. It's just like not a set of numbers I've ever been inclined to memorize. 4-4 is less likely than 5-3, though. That's for sure. So it must be less than 50% for them to be 4-4. Because you can't have 2 things both be more than 50% in the same possibility space. So that kind of tells me that actually the finesse is more likely to be right. I don't know, it just doesn't feel right to me to take a finesse when I could attack a suit, setting up guaranteed tricks. I don't have time to set up the suit. I know. I know. I mean, I guess one advantage is if you play the queen of spades from dummy at trick 1 and it holds, they might not continue spades if you attack diamonds. They might not know it's a good suit for them to play. Maybe that's enough of an excuse. Oh, sure, why not? I don't think there's any like robot psychological tricks I can employ here in like the order I lead these cards. Okay, well, now it is the turning point. I guess also the suit could be blocked. If West was dealt King 10-9 and East had 5 small, it's another way that attacking diamonds could pay off. Yeah, let's just keep playing diamonds. I'm a little reluctant to pitch a heart. I guess I can pitch a diamond. The heart is a potential threat. Spades were 5-3. What can you do? Well, what you could do would be guess the clubs, of course. But if I were going to guess clubs, I would be playing King and 10, I think. Well, the spade lead suggests West has some length in spades, and so would be more likely to be short than long in clubs. But that's sort of a case of like, you shouldn't you shouldn't assume too much that like the suit the opponents are that they led is the suit they're long in. Obviously, it's like often true, but they had to lead something. So, like, on the opening lead, they're going to show you they're long in something. The specific thing they showed you they're long in doesn't really matter that much. You can't put that much weight on it. It's just like, okay, he didn't lead a club, so he probably doesn't have queen fifth. But easily could have had queen fourth or something. So, I don't know. I mean, you could win the queen and then play a club. That would be the way to make it. I don't know if that's the right way to play it, though. 13 points. I guess one club, one no is a fine auction. Okay, I'm happy to get back out of the auction. I do not enjoy being involved anymore. It's not a hand I'm excited about. I bid because I had to, not because I'm in love with it. Okay, it seems to have turned out all right. What's going on with hearts? We don't know. Pretty sure I should just lead hearts, though. Oh, should I be roughing diamonds? No. I'm not going to be able to elope with all of these trumps. And I don't want to set up promotions for East. This probably loses. Oh, okay, nice. East is probably roughing diamonds now. But I think you still just have to rough this. Doesn't make sense to pitch a heart, I don't think. I don't know. Boo. Yeah, I don't know. On a 6-2 split, I'm not sure what you can do differently. Not that the 6-2 split is much of a surprise. That's what it looked like at trick 1. Can't really set up and enjoy clubs, I don't think. 34, huh? I guess you would do better to lead the jack of clubs here, and then if West covers, you can attack clubs. And if he doesn't, then the clubs will be good, as it turns out. I don't know if I would necessarily follow through with that plan by playing low after leading the jack, but you might as well lead the jack and maybe West will cover. You can afford to throw the jack under the ace if you aren't willing to finesse at that point. That would be an improvement, I think. Maybe I was too focused on roughing those hearts, and I should have paid more attention to setting up clubs. It doesn't seem like I have enough entries to south hand, though. I don't know how that would work. 13 points is a diamond. In fourth seat, you could open a spade. Preempt the hearts. I don't think the spades are good enough, really. Well, I don't know. Why not? It'll be fun. No, stop competing, partner. He probably has 4. See? There weren't any hearts to preempt. Got the opponents to lead the ace of clubs somehow. Well, we're not going to make this. But we weren't beating a club contract either. Right? The opponents are losing at most 2 spades and 2 diamonds. I don't think they actually can lose 2 diamonds on any layout, though, because they can pitch one on a heart. Yeah, so I think opponents make like 4 clubs. And if I'd opened a diamond, they would have had just an easy time getting there, except we would have a great difficulty competing. So I actually think this should score fairly well, even though we're going down. I just have to make sure not to lose 7 tricks, I guess. Make sure I take at least 6. As long as spades are not like 5-0, that should be fine. Okay, spades are splitting. So we could take this club rough now, but there's no rush. I'll play the ace of diamonds. West could have a singleton king. Low to the queen, sort of. I don't know what it accomplishes. Use it. Okay. Presumably they cash all the hearts now. Yep. All right, I'll take the rest. Down 1. You know, like I said, pretty good. The opponents lose 1 diamond and 2 spades. So they make 130. Yeah, 70%. Cool. So, I mean, 58, not the biggest result I've ever put up in one of these events, but totally fine. This pass is the glaring, exceptionally bad hand, of course. I still don't think it's crazy. Like, I'm sure that the human being partner who I regularly play with, we don't play the same system. I would open this in a heartbeat with him because we have weaker opening bids. But I'm sure he would agree that, you know, it's at least not crazy in a normal system to pass this. I don't know if he would actually pass it himself. I imagine he would not. But I don't think it's crazy. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.